season.
It's been good.
What's the spinoff?
So spinoff is there's a character, Ben Edwards, and so spoiler alert for those who have not seen it. Just give me 2 seconds.
Look at the snow in the mountain.
Hear my son. So he's killed at the end.
There's a snow in the mountain. You can see.
Look at all that snow in the mountain.
We can see the mountain of the snow. You can see a lot of snow in the mountain.
Played by Taylor Kitsch. It was just awesome. That's one of the characters I thought was more fully developed than the character in my novel. And on the page, and then what Taylor Kitsch brought to it was just next level. So when we did the premiere in LA,
we're moving along pretty good.
It debuted on.
But you feel better,
July
Sean?
1st,
What?
You feel better?
Yeah.
I came home and
I
for some
feel
reason
better.
I had a day without interruption. I don't know where my wife and kids were, but I was sitting in a chair that would never
Yeah,
sit
I'm
in
feeling
if I didn't
alright.
want to be interrupted.
I'm feeling
And
okay.
I wrote from
I'm just sitting in
second
the.
I woke up
I'm
all
just
the way
sitting in the
through
back
night
seat.
until I
That's
got
all.
back, and I wrote a spinoff.
I'm just sitting in the back seat.
I sent it to the showrunner David DiGilio.
I'm sitting in the front seat.
On the way home, I'll be front seat.
Because I don't get sick going eastbound.
It's not my spinoff. Mine was totally
Probably the way
different.
home, I'll
And
probably
this
sit in
was
the
this
front
Taylor
because I don't want to
Kitsch
get car
spinoff.
sick on the way
It's kind
home.
of a prequel
The way
going back in
back.
time a little bit. And I said, Chris, that's amazing. Let's do that. That's a great
We'll do
idea.
that on the way back.
A bunch of funny ads.
The way
A
home.
bunch of there.
To Amazon,
Not
they
there.
loved it. So off we go to the races with this spin-off, which is more of an international espionage type of show rather than revenge thriller, action thriller, conspiracy thriller like the first one. And it is awesome. And also nobody can compare it to a book. So even fans of the book that look at it and say, this is different, this is different, this is different, I hate it because there's no prequel. And then that leads right into the second season, True Believer, starring Chris Pratt. So we'll roll right into that. And things in Hollywood, as you know, can go off the rails at any time. So I always, that's just how it goes. But right
Text
now,
Nazi
working on those
or
scripts,
text
well,
Dad?
put the pencils down about 5 days
text
ago now,
Nazi.
6 days ago,
Nazi's
7 days ago for the rest of
She's
the
home, but Dad's
That's in
not.
Eureka.
Yeah,
Dad's
yeah.
like 2 hours away.
She's sleeping.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she is
So
asleep.
when was
That's
that
true.
supposed
Well,
to go
she's
into
in bed, but she'll
We're supposed to do it
wake up
sometime in
and
the
say hi.
fall.
And then she has to get up at like at
But
midnight.
don't call her, just text her.
Just
It's
text.
just a good reminder.
Reminder, we'll be at the house. in
Yeah,
like an
we
hour.
might DoorDash some Domino's
We'll
pizza.
DoorDash, Domino's, or either we'll get, I don't know how we'll do it, but we'll get something.
We'll probably get some food.
Hey, we
Probably.
might even not get Domino's, we'll get something else.
We'll probably get some like McDonald's or something. Right?
We'll get McDonald's?
Probably McD's.
Yeah,
Might do
I get to
McDonald's.
choose this time.
You get to choose.
Yeah.
Come on, I haven't
Let's do
chosen.
In-N-Out.
Yeah,
Let's do In-N-Out.
Let's do Domino's.
Let's do McDonald's.
Let's do McDonald's.
McDonald's, yes.
He's like, hey, you're the one that didn't stand up.
We'll do Domino's pizza tomorrow.
Kind of knows now.
Yeah.
what she's
Are we doing
really
chili
all
dogs tomorrow
about.
night?
And that's another one of those.
No, we're doing chili dogs on Friday.
Oh, chili dogs Friday.
Tacos on Saturday.
Yeah, do
And
tacos on Saturday. Yeah.
we're doing go-karts at Mini Golf at Oasis Fun Center.
Yep.
People give me things to.
It's not far off the road.
Yeah, not far off the road in Muir Peak.
So Isaac, we're gonna get
And-
McDonald's tonight or something?
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna probably go to McDonald's probably. We'll probably
Yeah.
get some McDonald's
And a
tonight.
lot of stuff.
We're gonna probably get some McDonald's.
How can you fake this?
Like
5
at
days a week.
McDonald's.
Up on stage? There's no way.
Like a couple days a week. It's like,
You're not having these uncensored
I might get some
conversations.
fries or a
It's
hamburger.
very edited.
Or a
It's also
drink.
like
I might
there's
get a
an audience
Sprite.
there, so you play
yeah,
to the
Sprite
audience.
drink
I might get
and
a
Well
Sprite.
aware, and there's stuff.
it's a good
filmed,
Sprite
stuff
drink.
that's
I got my
And
phone with me. So my
Chris is the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have my charger.
So,
It's in my pocket.
you know, me and my wife were having a conversation about like actors. You know, and she was
Yeah,
talking
it's
about
in
someone that was very.
I have my cord, so I'm plugging
And
my
I
phone.
said, yeah, I go, it's rare.
It
yeah,
has an outlet on the
Cherish
counter.
the ones
got
on my
some
phone.
pajamas and
Yeah, there's some pajamas.
Scotty's
They're clean. Look
I have
at my
some.
dad
I
already.
have pajamas in my backpack and my headphones and my chargers. And
I got my charger for my phone.
Stuff.
I got my laptop.
No ego
I got my
having
computer.
guy,
I
just
got my phone.
friendly and normal.
I
You
don't put my
talk to
tablet
him.
either,
He's
but I
not
forgot to bring my
just like
laptop.
right there. He's a great guy.
That's okay.
But unless you put 2 pictures of him and his
I
dad
got-
in the
I got-
70s
I got a
now, then
tablet
that's
for
an amazing resemblance.
Crazy
But yeah,
resemblance.
You got a new tablet, Sean?
Yeah, I got a bigger one.
Yeah,
By
it's
Amazon.
a good one right there.
I got
Outlaw
another
Joseph
Amazon
Wills.
Fire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the picture.
Great
A big Amazon
I got two
Fire.
Amazon Fires now. I
Good-looking
got
guy.
2 of
Not
them.
bad.
But
yeah, Chris,
him and
I got
Chris,
2 Amazon Fires.
they're the nicest guy. I ran into Chris once.
Got like a Kindle Fire or
I used to
With
use
my
them all the
family.
time.
He was on, I believe he was on his honeymoon.
That was my
at
Android.
Four Seasons out there. Yeah, we were setting some stuff up. I was gonna get him at my house. Then we set
Whoa.
in the actual hotel, but
Hold on.
and we spent some time together in Utah.
You just
Yeah.
sit there. I'm gonna hold on to the
That was the
handles.
first time that I got to sit this week
Because I
option
can
it.
hold on.
And we came out in February of 2018, and we all met up in Utah in, what was it, August? August of
It,
2018.
stop it. Get back in the car.
Alright, Sean, you feel
It was
better?
out for a few
What?
months. But,
How you doing with these twisties?
Good.
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 That's good.
Copy because it was very good for
I'm not
the SEAL
sick.
teams.
I
Which
swear to
just did
God.
because
I'm
No,
not throwing
I
up.
swear to God,
SEAL teams.
I'm
I
not
did not.
sick.
No, I'm not,
Private
dude.
sector and followed
No,
up.
I'm sure
I forgot
not.
all about it. He never
Absolutely
did. So
not.
Are you gonna meet me in Big Bar or not?
Before it came out.
We're not leaving until June.
Got Pigeon
We're staying
Point
the rest of the month.
Campground.
We're gonna be here the rest of the month.
We're gonna be here for the rest of the month.
And we'll
Right
be
here.
June, probably.
I
We'll
can
be
send you
here
early
for like
copy if
3
you'd like.
Fridays at
He
least.
said, well, I'd like to give it to a friend of mine. if that's
3
okay.
Fridays at
3
least.
Thursdays. Yep.
Chris Pratt.
We
So
are gonna
that's
be
what I
here
thought
for
about
a
playing
while, yes.
When I was writing
Are.
it, before he'd been in Guardians, before he'd
Because
been
Mom
in
and Jamie are
Jurassic
going on a
World,
trip
so he'd been
to.
in,
They're leaving Friday.
Parks and
So,
Recreation.
so we call Mom.
You thought
so we
about
call Mom
him in
on Friday. We
Chubby
call Mom
Chris
for
Pratt?
the week.
North Fork Trinity River.
I saw him make the transformation to SEAL operator in 0 Dark 30. Really small role, so I thought, okay, I see this guy right here. Look at that transformation, and he seems like an inherently likable person on and off screen. So, and then I thought,
U.S.
I'm gonna give
Department
Chris
of
a
the
chance here.
Interior Trinity
I'll help his
River.
career along because it looks like he needs. This is me writing my first sentence of the
Yeah.
book in Coronado, California, still in the
Yes,
SEAL team.
it's so
little
far.
office off our bedroom. But I thought of Chris Pratt, and that's because back in the day, everybody loved Magnum PI in the 80s.
Do you like Chris Pratt?
That switch,
Yeah.
and he could get it done in one episode. We talked about this once before. There's an episode where it's the first time on network television where
Okay,
a protagonist
Sean? Yeah, I'm
is a
okay.
bad guy.
Keep looking at the road.
It's an
Yeah.
amazing
Keep
episode.
looking in the road.
I will pull over if you need me to, but
No, I'm not. You're not pulling over.
Yeah, we'll pull over if you need me to. All right.
Sean, don't look at your phone. Looking at your phone's bad.
My phone is down. It's right
Something like this.
between my
That's action
knees.
films yet.
Don't look at your phone.
phone.
If you look at your phone, you
I'm
get
off my
sick.
phone. I'm on it right now. Because we're on the road driving.
We call Shooter based on Point of Impact by Steven.
Because I don't want to get. I don't want to get
Once works,
pissed.
so
I don't want to
this
get
is the guy.
mad.
We're all 3
I don't
executive
want
producers
to
on
get
it.
upset.
No.
I don't
I
want
ever
to.
wonder if you made that up?
I've been upset before.
How much-
Yeah,
how
I've been
much do you
upset
take?
since
Yeah,
a couple weeks ago. I was upset.
Well, it certainly didn't take up any of that bandwidth.
I think
now he's calling you.
Oh, is she calling me?
Oh, we got burrito bandito.
Bandito.
Country specific.
That sounds
Bobby
good.
ordered some burrito bandito for us, so I guess no Domino's or McDonald's.
Nothing. Let's just order some burritos tonight.
Yeah, we might DoorDash tomorrow.
We might do pizza tomorrow.
We might do pizza tomorrow,
And then
or
on
we got some
Saturday- on Friday
burritos.
we'll do tacos. Well, we'll do.
We got burritos tonight.
Good job, Nazi Chelsea to the rescue.
Bye.
She ordered us some burritos from the burrito place.
Daughter to the rest of you.
Burrito place and ready. There's-
Look at this
order,
big
but it's gonna
turn.
come delivered.
Yeah, bad turn, Sean.
It's
Look at
not
that
a
big
bad
U-turn.
Why are you getting mad?
Shut the fuck up.
Whoa, hey, Sean.
Whoa, Sean. Watch your language.
Shut up.
Watch your
They saw
profanity.
number 1 New
Shut
York
the
Times
fuck up.
bestseller.
Hey,
All those books
what?
I read.
Why are you getting mad?
I'm not pissed off.
Sean, why are you cursing?
Yeah, we got the
I'm not
U-turn.
mad. You fucking asshole.
Hey, Sean, stop.
Hey, stop
sorry.
cussing. I'm
Okay,
doing a
I'm
video.
sorry. I'll stop. I'll stop it. I'll knock it off.
Would you turn the...
Oh, Jesus
And so that was what was always in my mind. So if I
Why would you fart in the car?
it's going to be optioned by whoever I want.
We're listening to the Joe Rogan Experience right there.
If that makes sense. Maybe it's a little naivete,
Or DoorDash.
which is
Sometimes helps.
Yeah, exactly.
Listening to the Joe Rogan Experience right there.
You want to be an author? What are you really going to do when that fails? Or you want to be a SEAL? What are you going to do when you don't make it through?
We're almost to Weaverville. That's
We're
where
in
my dad and
Junction-
I got hit.
We're in Junction City right there.
Junction City.
Yeah, gotta get rid of those people.
And if you do have a safety net, you might fall.
Yeah.
You know, you might make it, but you might fall. And there's something to that, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I don't understand the way reality works.
Yeah, it's that bandwidth because you're worried, you're thinking about those other things. Where for me, all my heart and soul into the book, continue to go into the books, every single sentence. And for me, writing these kind of books, I don't have to go out there and find a sniper from Ramadi in 2006. I don't have to go find somebody who's in an ambush. I can remember what it's like to be a sniper in Ramadi. In 2006, and then my protagonist gets in an ambush in Los Angeles, California. So I go back and think of the feelings and emotions
How many
associated with
63
that
miles
that I
there?
was in. And
Ready?
apply those
Yeah,
completely
63
to a
miles
fiction
to
without any
Yep,
filter. So I
63
have
miles.
to interview somebody and then have those answers
63
get filtered
miles.
through other
63 miles to Reading. A lot of stuff, and
Yep.
It goes right from my heart.
We're not there
we'll
yet.
go over Whiskey Town. A lot of stuff.
Yeah, I'll be. We're not
Resident
the lake
Evil
yet.
Leaders and Resident to Chris and Hans
We might go over Buckhorn. Right there. Buckhorn. Right there.
My dad drove me on that mountain. That's where my dad and I.
Everyone, you
this
gotta
route.
be quiet. You guys are talking too much.
Sorry, guys.
A moment of silence.
We're gonna do some silence for 10 minutes. No talking.
All right, I'm gonna. Okay,
No
I'm gonna go
music.
No nothing. Just silence.
right. Dude, I want to turn on Joe Rogan.
You want Joe Rogan, Sean?
Yes.
Yes.
I want to listen to him again.
and then learning that, how that went down.
Listening to the Joe Rogan.
Came through and
Sorry.
production and post-production,
Sorry.
marketing and advertising and the premiere and then
You're gonna get a chicken taco for your burrito bandito partner. You like chicken tacos?
Yeah, chicken taco.
Yeah, did Ozzy order me a burrito?
I don't know yet.
Have you thought about
I'll ask for a
making
burrito.
James Reese or
She did text
What
me
chi-
about it.
What did she order me?
different?
I think she got you guys both chicken tacos and probably burritos. I don't know.
I don't know. She got us chicken tacos.
It's gonna be a surprise.
I'll be a surprise when we get there. I'll be there already, okay?
Yeah, we're gonna have talk,
nonfiction that I'm so
and
passionate about. with
we're gonna have
history, so
tacos on Saturday.
And then,
We'll do
there's
turkey
another thing in the
tacos
works that got put on a little bit of hold
Yeah.
because of the writer strike, but I'll text you about it when it comes through.
Sean?
Things in the works.
What?
What are you
that,
doing?
that I thought would be done
Huh?
by now.
Why are you coughing so much?
I don't know, because I made you grow.
But there's some other things.
Why is
that,
your-
Went over.
Sean,
We
go
went
drink some
over.
water, man.
Yeah.
Drink.
I'll drink some water.
I'm gonna drink some water.
Would it be productions or would it be novels or
Yeah,
both?
some other exactly both.
Both. Yeah. Yeah. So
We'll see.
there's a thing about getting trapped in the success. Like you have, and also you have to have Chris Pratt on board. You can't.
Junction
recast.
City
No, I don't think so. I don't
Campground.
think so. He's the guy. He's the
Yeah.
guy. I mean,
Behind a
think of-
yellow Honda Fit. Right there.
1, 2, 3, 4, like 5
Yep.
Jack Ryans up to this point.
Yep.
So that one survived and people
We're
accepted that.
Yeah,
Going
yes.
in the Kia Forte. Right there.
Having fun.
Alec Baldwin and Harrison Ford were pretty close to those movies in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, really in the early 90s. So there is that, but you never know how it's going to go.
It's like how many James Bonds and
Yep, exactly. And
We-
that continues. And
We went
so-
over
so-
Helena, right
there's
over
that.
there.
There's precedent there. But the casting was really interesting because you see these people who you've grown up watching who during the time it's kind of COVID. Well, it is COVID time. So they're
I'm
doing screen
feeling
tests.
better, man.
People that
That's
you know
good.
what was the name of, like doing a screen test and wanting to be in the show. And
Dude, I'm feeling better, man.
Crazy.
It's
It was
wild.
I'm not
crazy.
throwing up.
And then Taylor, of course, just knocked
I'm
it out
not
of the park.
sick
We saw the
at
screen
all.
test with him
I'm
and
just
Chris.
saying,
Like, no
I'm
question,
not
like,
sick.
Taylor is Ben Edwards.
Like, it's very
Taylor's just an
important.
awesome dude. He's so fired up to get to work. We were just
It's
texting
very
on the way over
important.
here, and he was so
good.
excited to get to work on
I'm
this
very
next
happy
one.
to.
Yeah, he just elevated that character to a new level, and such a good dude.
Suck playing a bad guy though.
Yeah, but now he gets to go back and kind of like play around with it a little bit.
Yeah.
He has good, great action sequences that are just next level, and Taylor's just such a good. He's one of those guys also totally normal, totally cool. You want to sit down, have a beer with him, have
They
a whiskey
exist.
with them, have a coffee with them.
Yeah, they exist.
Just an awesome dude. So-
It's just in that world, it almost celebrates people that aren't genuine.
It's strange.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
strange.
it's a pretend business. It's a business. of
Dutch
pretend.
Creek Road.
Everybody in the show that I can think of. Jean Triplehorn, amazing. She played the Secretary of Defense, Lorraine Hartley.
Man, she's been around. That lady's done some great movies.
Amazing movie. And so nice. And so kind. And so normal.
Weaverville 8 and Reading 50 miles. And I'm gonna text my dad.
Yep.
We're in
8 miles.
Weaverville right now.
Getting close.
We went to UFC together. We
yeah?
saw you at UFC in July 2nd when we went up there
We have
for
another mile
the
to go.
terminalist thing. And Chris now has the
Another
blood
few miles
splattered
to go.
terminal.
Then we'll go over Buckhorn, right
Oh,
there.
I got a piece of it. I got a piece of the blood from that night. But
Oh, that's right. The Terminalist sponsored the actual event.
Yeah.
It was on the canvas.
Yep. He's got the whole
Then
thing. and
we'll
it's all
go
in blood,
over
and I
Whiskey
swear
Town
it's
Lake,
covered in blood,
over
but
there.
it's banner, the whole middle part of the cage, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, we shared elk camp together and hung out. He's fucking as normal as can be. If you didn't know that guy was a movie star, you'd never guess it.
Yep. He's a big dude too, so it's hard for him to blend in. I think.
Yes. Yeah.
He's tall.
Rifle Range Road.
Yeah, everybody on that set was so cool, but it comes down to Chris and Antoine to the leadership, and it comes down to them setting the tone at that, like each one at that strategic level. So up there is the director, executive producer, right there at the top, setting that tone strategically, and then Chris right there also as the tactical level inspiration for everybody on set. So everybody wanted to be there, the top of their games. And so many people came up to me on set, and they didn't have to, and they said they've done hundreds of sets in Hollywood, and they never felt like this on a set before. And it was just something about it. It was inspiring. They wanted to be there, do their best work, and crush it. It was fun. It was fun to go to work.
There's not a lot of guys like you that wind up being successful authors. It's a very small, tiny group of people that have had the kind of real world experience that you've had and then conveyed that into fiction.
Yeah, for me it's just very, very natural and very therapeutic. But also I knew what I wanted. I didn't wake up at age 45 and say, hey, can you make money at writing? What should I have been reading for the last 30 years in preparation for this?
That's what's crazy. It's like your life was like sort of ordained. It's almost like destiny.
Well, I think it's that my parents made reading a natural part of my life. It wasn't something that was forced upon me. It was just as natural as anything else. And reading is what we did. My mom's a librarian, so I grew up with the love of books.
Eagle Rock, the Quarry.
For a lot of kids today, it was normal for me to have books that never been without a book. And not in the middle of the book. And when I finished,
It's 90 degrees.
hot here.
Hot here.
I've never had that my entire life.
Do you read, do you listen rather to audiobooks?
Very hot here.
Always read?
Yeah, always read. Since that's how I grew up. I love turning the pages.
It's hot. Wow.
But audiobooks are the fastest growing segment of publishing, and I'm so fortunate to have Ray Porter,
No cold.
awesome guy, a Shakespearean trained actor. He's been in tons of shows. If you look up Ray Porter, you can see just a list of shows that he's been in.
He's great.
And such
He's
an awesome
great
guy.
as a voiceover guy too. It's
Yeah.
like he does so many different accents.
That's tough. And I think about it now. As I'm writing, I think about
It's
maybe I should say that this
elevation,
person has
2,000
a crazy accent
feet.
in the first sentence, so that Ray doesn't read and get halfway down the page and have to go back and then start with it again. So I do think about Ray as I'm writing and trying to make it write things that make sense for him, so to be kind, so I don't get to the end and all of a sudden say this person has a really deep accent.
Has anybody ever come up to you and said, "Hey,
Dude.
what the fuck?" Me?
Nope, no, not yet.
Why?
Not yet.
Not in the car, Sean.
Bad guys.
Not in the car.
Oh, fuck,
Let
dude.
him hear about it.
Not yet.
That's hot
There's
air.
it's we're all experience and
Not in the car, Sean.
maybe some
Unacceptable.
similar to some people
I'm
with
sorry.
higher levels of government or
Oh my God, I
military
just farted. I'm
more some things
sorry.
together and
I didn't mean to
make them
fart. I'm sorry.
worse or sometimes better.
No,
I didn't mean to
Not-
fart. I'm sorry.
not in the car. You don't fart.
I'm sorry,
So
bro. Okay.
these days, we pay
I'll
attention
chill.
to our
I'll chill
experience
out.
and all that.
25 miles an hour turn.
Yeah,
Couple climbing up a mountain right
You
now.
know, one of the things that you deal with is like some very, very corrupt and evil people that are involved in the military. That are in management positions and executive positions. That
Whoa, it used to be
fuck
really
over
foggy up
soldiers.
here.
Oh yeah, shit.
That's-
Remember when it was
you
really
encountered
foggy?
that?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what my dad and I. That was at night.
Yeah, it'll be better
There's no
than
fog
last
up there, so I'm
time.
sunny here.
Process of people
At a
sometimes
30-mile-an-hour turn.
No snow, no rain, no nothing.
gigantic
It's sunny.
contracts for these companies.
A 30-mile-an-hour U-turn right there.
It's gonna be 90 tomorrow.
Now they're on this board, so that's just.
It's gonna be temperatures in the
It's
90s.
supposed to be 90 tomorrow and Friday.
Get scapegoated for certain things in the
We got a
military.
big
That's the other
U-turn
Yep.
right there.
Climb me up a mountain right now.
Really, but I think it's
We're
been
not
hard.
there yet,
Just the
but
human
we're
experience
not-
from
we're
being
almost
times like
close.
violence. What I do hear from people.
Yeah,
is,
closer to Weaverville.
Like that. Like is probably the wrong word, but they recognize that violence.
Eastbound on 299.
Punches in the pages of these things. Some people hate it. They like a sanitized version of violence, and there's plenty of that out there, and that's not me. So for me, it's all about the story. I never look at
Traffic fines doubled in construction zones.
Yep, construction zone
selling
coming up
right
here.
now. Right? I never had
We got a
any
construction
publisher ready to
zone.
go going in. Like we had what was going to happen
Construction
with agents
zone
and
coming up.
publishers, and if they were going to say,
Zone
okay,
here.
we have this. Next time, can you
Construction
lay off
zone.
on this, or can you do this a little more because this is selling right now? Or never even a hint. I've had complete creative control on that side, which is different than screenwriting. Because in screenwriting, you have a team, and then all those scripts and outlines, they go all the way up to the top of Amazon and back down with notes, and then you incorporate those, or you argue and come to some sort of an agreement or whatever it might be. But team-oriented on this side, only me on this side. And I
The
love
Oregon
that.
Mountain
Sure,
Pass,
whenever he did
right
it,
there.
Because if it fails, it's all on me. I can't say, man, I knew I should have done it.
We're in Oregon Mountain, right there. There's Weaverville.
Right down there.
That's what I thought agents were.
Getting
That's
down
not
there.
That's not my
Look at
agent.
the
Shouldn't
mountain.
give any input into,
We're gonna get to Buckhorn here soon. We're gonna be at Buckhorn.
Yeah, almost to Buckhorn Summit.
Yep. We're coming down the summit right now. We're on, and then we're gonna be at Buckhorn Summit.
Do you have to have an
And
agent?
then we'll be in Reading, finally. We'll be Whiskey Town.
Yeah.
Coming into Reading.
We might see a train very often in the track.
We might see the train. Yeah, we could see it. Could see it.
Might see a couple trains in Reading, like Union Pacific or BNSF Railway,
Too, 'cause we're gonna get on I-5.
BNSF or Union Pacific trains.
We might do Google Maps tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Drive, do some driving.
Are they an LA-based person?
On my
New York.
computer.
We might see Union Pacific or BNSF trains right there.
Yeah, I've had
Like,
some
do not,
people
like
unfortunately
relaxing
they get
from
me.
school.
But that's the
like,
thing. That, you know,
Yeah, I'm
you can
relaxed,
run it
chill
like
out.
in Hollywood. They're notorious for taking things that are very successful
For a
and
couple
fucking
weeks,
them up because
so.
they have their input on it. I mean, that's what they did with
School's
the
still
Chappelle
going
show.
on. So,
Dave
yeah,
Chappelle
in
was
Humboldt
on top of the
County.
world.
I'll be going.
The executives at Comedy Central fucking
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
they're
ended your
telling
school
them to do this
early.
and that,
Yeah, I did.
You can do this and stop saying
But
this.
school
and
will
stop
still be
doing that.
going.
And he
But
was like,
I'm out of this
fuck
last
this.
week.
And went to Africa.
I'm out of school.
and quit the show.
2 days off.
Famous and did stand up for years for money. Like literally would show up in Seattle.
Sun's not down
He would
yet.
bring a microphone and like a little portable speaker.
We're
Just
going
do
to be
stand up
on our
in
way
the
here.
park.
That's where my dad.
No
my dad-
way.
that's
I didn't know that part. I remember when he quit the show, went to Africa,
Yeah,
and came
man.
back, and it seemed like he was gone for a decade
That's
almost.
what
He
Dad
was
and
gone
I
for a
went
long
one
time. And he
That
just
we
was
drove at
thinking
night.
about that.
It was at dark. We
Yeah,
drove.
and trying to figure out what he was doing. And just didn't, I mean,
That's what Dad and I drove at
the
night.
kind of integrity that he had to walk away from, I
It was
think it was
dark.
like $50 million.
Crazy. But
Yeah.
the time was
Leslie
like a
Lane.
type of
Leslie
record
Lane,
setting.
thank you.
John,
Yeah.
it was the biggest show on cable. It was huge. And
The
we did
bigger
two
show in
seasons. To
cable,
this
a
day,
lot
I
of
think
stuff.
Why is
The
it
best
cable?
sketch comedy show that's ever
We're
been
in
made.
Weaverville.
And we walked away from it because they fucked it up.
Yep, we're coming
If they
to
just left him
Weaverville.
alone, if they were
Yep.
smart, they're like,
Sure
have
are.
fun.
Right.
Like what they do at South Park. Just
Not there yet.
we'll leave you alone.
Yeah.
We're not there
There's some
yet.
controversy every now and again, but
Sean.
Of course.
Yeah, Isaac.
I need you to text
Oh,
Nazi and say we're in Weaverville.
yeah, in Weaverville. Okay. Okay, in Weaverville. Okay.
The ranger station.
In Weaver.
We're in the Kia Forte. Look at this old Chevy.
Weaver.
Right behind a 4Runner.
Put Phil there. Phil. In Weaverville. That's it. I spelled it. In Weaverville. That's it.
Why is the sound off?
Oh. We're in Weaverville.
Was you with who? People that weren't fans anyway?
right.
So funny. The bottom line was it was really, really, really funny, and they came in and they made it no fun.
Yeah, our little guy just got into it. He's watching them all right now.
So good. Clayton Bigsby.
Coming in
the
town.
California
white supremacist that
299
doesn't know he's
East.
black.
The whole thing is genius. I mean, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's
Oh,
so
yeah.
different. Also, it's also so different. It's
Oh,
not
so
safe.
good.
You know?
No. It's so good.
Which is
But
fantastic.
they wanted to safen it up a little bit, and they started fucking with him and talking to him about, and he just felt awful. And you know, he's a man of integrity, and he just said, "Fuck this." But they ruined. The executives ruined the greatest sketch comedy show of all time, and they got one of the greatest comedians that's ever walked the face of the earth to walk away from his own show.
Wow.
Yeah,
Amazing.
they can fuck it up.
Yeah.
They can get in there, you know. And
What a genius. I mean, his stuff. Oh my gosh. It's
Yeah.
so great. It's so
No, he's awesome. He was out here week one, the second week that we were open at the mothership. He
Oh,
came by,
awesome.
and he christened the little room.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
awesome.
they're
That
awesome.
mother, it looks so amazing. I mean, everybody listening to this has obviously watched the video and seen that drone go in those doors and take the tour
Trinity River
of that
Lumber
whole place.
Company.
I mean,
That's
you
where-
open
that's
it,
where big
it was-
trucks
That
come
rant,
out here.
the Bill Burr
Sometimes
rant,
big trucks
was the
come here.
perfect rant to have over it.
So great. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's what
that guy
trucking
is
does.
so funny.
Yeah,
Oh.
and that rant was just so perfect for that video and what we're trying to do.
Yeah, you guys are crushing.
It's
Look at all
turned
these
Boston into
vlogs.
the comedy capital of the country. It's amazing. It's
I remember you telling me about it beforehand, you know, and I was like, oh yeah, you came to the right place when you left LA. I remember you looking at a couple different places, and I think you chose, well, I know, you chose the right spot to come, and then to build this, what you built here is so inspiring. It's so cool. But that one, when I saw that video, I was like, oh, because you told me about it like a year in advance, a year and a half, whatever it was, and I was so excited when I saw that video, and I texted you about it, and that was just awesome. I'm just so fired up that is here. I mean, it's a destination. You made this a destination for comedy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's almost surreal.
Yeah.
When we're there, Tony Hinchcliffe and I, when we're there sometimes, we just go, how the fuck did we do this? I can't believe we did this. Like,
Yeah.
it really worked. And it was such a weird gamble because you had to leave. I left LA in the middle of this Spotify deal, this enormous deal, and they were like, what the fuck are you doing? You're going to go to Texas? How are you going to get guests? How are you going to do that? You know, it was like there's so much to it. Like, how do you do this? But I was like, I have a compass. Like, it's like that way. Go that way.
And you always had that?
Yeah. I'm a
Shasta
I
College,
feel like something is the thing. to
Trinity
do.
campus.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, I think that's a giant component for success. You cannot play safe. And there's sometimes where it seems counterintuitive and other people are going to think it's a terrible idea, and you got to not listen to them.
Yeah.
You got to be able to just jump on it.
Yeah, we call it in sniper school a bold adjustment. So you have a certain amount of time on that line, and you have, especially if you're doing something with like an old M14 type of a thing, and when you're starting out and doing these clicks on your scope and on your elevation, and like bold adjustments, gentlemen. I remember them walking down the line saying that. So you're not like taking a tiny click because they've got to get people through this course or get them out of the course or whatever it is. So bold adjustment, okay, went there.
Click it or tick it.
Bang, you're on. Instead of these tiny, very safe, tiny little adjustments that keep you on that line for another hour.
Yeah.
Bold adjustments is what they told us. So that's what it sounds like here. And yeah, man, it's awesome. I can't wait to go and check it out. It's,
I think that it sounds crazy, but the universe rewards that.
yeah, I mean, you have to. Otherwise, you just have a safe.
Little Browns Creek Road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one shot to, well, you can learn from successes and failures. So why not learn from them? Take some risks and because you're not coming back. Well, maybe we don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe you're just doing it over and over and over and over and over again. And that's one of the reasons why I'm willing to take these chances.
Maybe.
It's because I've fucked it up before. And I know, nope, now's the time to get moving.
This is your 500th time
Like,
going through this.
Remember when you stayed in LA, that
Groundhog
last
Day.
life? Let's get the fuck
Exactly.
out of there.
Time to go. Time to
Let's
go.
not be depressed.
Yeah, it was the first time I came out was LA, and that was a crazy time to come out because that was COVID. So the book hit the New York Times list, and then you texted, and I jumped in the car and drove on out. There was nobody on the roads. That was crazy. That was April of late April, early May of 2020. Yeah. Nobody on the roads, nobody on the 405. Like that was weird, super weird. Yeah, and then we got to talk about COVID on the thing. And I remember it was still a time when the Wuhan lab was conspiracy theory stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember just that we talked about it. I didn't put it as eloquently as Jon Stewart did when he talked about the Wuhan lab coronavirus thing and the Hershey, the bit where he does on, hey, if there's an outbreak of chocolatey goodness in Hershey, Pennsylvania, you might want to look at the chocolate factory. Like, that was genius, but we did talk about it. And at the time, you know, that was conspiracy theory craziness. And I was like, well, there is a lab there. So if I was a detective in any big city in the United States, I'd probably call that a clue.
It's not
It wasn't
7 o'clock
look
yet.
into it.
You should look into it. And
Right,
also,
sounds
how
right.
did that become a conspiracy theory? I mean, what fantastic
There's nobody
level
behind
of
us.
manipulation and propaganda that they impart on the United States that was a conspiracy theory. That a respiratory coronavirus lab in Wuhan, China definitely couldn't be the place.
It's like a block away.
Yeah.
It's certainly not that place. It could be anything else, we're not sure, but it's certainly not the coronavirus lab a block away from the outbreak. Like, looking back on it,
At the time, I had been very fortunate to be friends with people that actually understood viruses and actually understood, you know, the fear and cleavage.
We've got
sites,
Union
the
Hill
way that
Road.
Viruses
Union
normally
Hill.
jump from
Hill Road.
an animal host to a human, the natural
Union Hill Road.
spillover.
yeah.
There's so many different factors that pointed to the idea that this is a gain of function research project that went wrong. And that's what it was. And there's still people out there that deny that. That one little guy, that little fella, that
Little guy?
fella.
Yeah, he's
There is
little guy.
no evidence. That little fucker.
But that's the manipulation part. Where as a populace, we have to realize that we are being manipulated in many instances. And
Not
we
only
should
that,
ask
but that
question.
one guy's been manipulating people that way his entire career. Did you ever read the Robert Kennedy book?
No, it's on my list, but I have not.
Holy shit.
Pretty good. I need to read that. So these days, I read for people coming on the podcast. I've read every book for people that have come on thus far. I don't know if I'll always be able to. But I think some of those books would have fallen to lower on the priority list if they weren't coming on the podcast. But
Right.
some of those conversations that I've had in the books I've read have made it into the pages of the novel. So there's all this overlap to include this one. Brian Moore has a book called The Able Archers.
We're not Buckhorn yet,
We've
Isaac?
got Douglas City right there.
Douglas City?
And there was one guy in the Soviet
coming up to it, dude.
officer
Parker,
on
we're
watch
coming
that
up.
night who's not
Dude,
Coming
Douglas
to
City.
it.
supposed to be there, got sick. So the
Douglas
guy
City,
shows up,
coming into
Stainer
Douglas.
Flat Road.
We're coming into
studied
Douglas
the United
City.
States.
Douglas.
He's
We're coming in there.
and he's put in this
We're
time
coming
and effort
into,
in understanding the strategic
Douglas City here.
kind of aspects of this conflict in the Cold War. And there's a launch from the United States, ICBMs, heading towards the Soviet
Party,
Union. That's what shows up on their screen. And
There's Highway 3 right there.
It's launch back.
To the right,
and
there's
it's
Highway
pressure
3.
from above to launch. It's the protocol, and he doesn't.
Got a Kia Optima.
In their system,
Jesus
that show.
Christ.
Yeah, and there's all these other things that play to Korean Airlines Flight 007 that was shot down earlier. There's
I
all these
think
things
it's
happening. That
85, 75 miles?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. So we can those
Writing was in
documents
30
were just.
miles.
Oh, 30 miles, okay.
I might be off by a year or two, but I think it was 1999.
We're almost there.
But these documents were finally.
We're gonna get there.
declassified.
Hopefully, some will be already down by the time we get there.
And,
We're almost there.
stuff, things like that. So I read that book and had that conversation with this guy, and he's a really nice guy, great guy in the intelligence world his whole career, and that made it into the pages of this novel. So there's overlap, but Robert Kennedy has not been on the podcast yet, so I have not read that book, but I've been meaning to read it. It sounds fascinating.
He was just on Russell Brand's podcast, and he talked about his uncle and his father's assassination. Holy shit. His recall is amazing. His ability to just remember all these different pieces that were in play. Particularly with the JFK assassination and Lee Harvey Oswald, and the fact that Lee Harvey Oswald was a CIA asset, and that he had defected to Russia, but it was a fake defection, and all the different pieces that were in place.
We're going in the Kia Forte.
There's so much evidence.
Yep.
He's like, if we went into
Going
this,
in the Kia
said
Forte. Right there.
to Russell,
Yep.
if we just
Sorry about
wanted
that,
to
Isaac.
cover the evidence
We're almost there.
JFK, he goes, this would be a 10-hour podcast.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating, and it makes it. You haven't gotten to the stage
Indian
of the
Creek
yet.
Lodge.
Too much weight.
Don't give me-
no. But you'll like when you get to the certain part, you'll be like, no way, because I think nobody is going to expect this part of the book to go the way it does. But point being, it takes us back to that assassination, and so crazy. Early '90s. Remember, maybe you had Oliver North on here, which is Oliver North's book's fascinating. But you have Congress mandating law that the United States has to declassify these documents by a certain date.
Yep.
And 2 administrations, after a visit from the CIA, neglect to do that, or they let some things out, but not everything, like is mandated by law
Right.
all these years after. So if they're not involved, then they might not be. But they're certainly going well out of their way to make themselves look guilty.
Yeah.
Like, really trying hard to make themselves look guilty.
But I feel like them making themselves look guilty is safer than removing all doubt.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, because it is. Because we're not talking about. I mean, Tucker talked about it on his television show, and he boldly claimed that CIA, killed Kim. But it was a weird way he did it. Like you said, someone
Stillbridge Road.
release that person's name. It's like the way Robert Kennedy Jr. talks about it on Russell Brand's podcast. It's like
I'm gonna listen to that.
depth.
Yeah.
And it's just this holy shit.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, in most of my books, I make mention, and this one in particular, go back to the church hearings and the Pike hearings of the 70s that exposed some overreach by agencies in the federal government, particularly the CIA. But as it pertains to the Kennedy assassination, it is so strange. All these years later, they still walk into the Oval Office and have a private conversation and walk out, and all of a sudden these documents that are mandated to be released by law are not.
Yeah.
Like, so odd. But in this one also, so a friend of mine married into the Kennedy family, so I went back to Hyannisport, got to meet Robert Kennedy, and I spent some time with Ethel Kennedy, and it was amazing. And that experience also informs. If you've gotten to that chapter already, where he goes to meet the old woman, and so that part inspired this book right here. And that was really cool to be back there and see. Look at this chair, and in this chair there's a little table next to it, and you see a picture of JFK watching the election results come in, and you look at the picture, and you look at the chair, and it's him in that chair, right there. It's amazing. It was really interesting to be in that part of the world, in that place, with that family. But he had inspired this.
Old history.
Yeah.
Sean, what are you doing?
What?
He had
What are you
inspired
doing?
this, and
I'm nothing. I'm just sitting in the middle seat.
At the bottom of that assassination. And it
Well,
wasn't
not
that
to
long
the
ago.
house yet.
Like when we were born, we thought it was a long time ago. Like let's say
6:32
1983 or
right now,
something.
PM.
63
Almost
is a
7
long
o'clock.
time ago when you were a kid. But now looking back, it's everything's relative. It's that time-space continuum thing, whatever that is. That's a real deal. Time speeding up as you get older. It's I saw a meme the other day, and it said if Marty McFly went back,
We got Poker Bar Road.
On the bar road.
or something like that.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
On the bar
Well,
road.
how about
Damn.
World War I was 100 years ago?
Are we in Buckhorn yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I
that's,
think we're
that's
past
nothing.
Buckhorn, Sean.
I think
That's
we're,
nothing.
we're
World War
pretty
II
much the
less.
backside of it.
Vietnam, much less.
Looks like we're the
Korea,
backside
less.
of Buckhorn.
Yeah, Donnie Edwards was the Best of
Buckhorn's
Us
coming out
Foundation.
here.
Yeah,
I don't know.
he has a picture of himself with a World War I veteran.
Coming up the
Are you
limit.
okay?
And so
What?
my daughter, who's
Why do you
17,
keep coughing?
I don't-
went to Pearl Harbor and took 62 veterans back
I
to
don't
Pearl
know,
Harbor
man.
for
I have
the
an itchy
anniversary
mouth,
commemorating
man.
mission event about a year and a half ago.
Coughing so much.
Last
God
June,
damn
we
it.
went to
I have allergies.
with somebody who was the first out of his landing craft storming the beach, and she's there
Earlier this
on
week
this
I had
beach
some
with him. He's 100
allergies.
years old
Jeez.
right now, hearing that
God.
story from him, and I'm getting pictures of them talking
What
together.
does it smell?
So one day she'll say, I have a
Skunk.
picture.
Nah, I don't know if that's skunk, Sean.
That's a skunk smell
How
up
many,
here,
what
dude.
percentage you guys
I can
got?
smell
What
it.
a freaking skunk.
I don't have my numbers, but it was
I can
a lot,
smell it.
a lot when you-
The winery.
The
They
skunk
did that
stinks.
over and over again,
Smells like
island
stinky
after
feet.
island after island.
Lewiston Lake, Trinity Lake.
Those guys came home. What did they do? They got back to work. They didn't
It
complain. They
stinks.
built the country into what it is today. And that's a
It
little
stinks.
different. It was a different time.
Different kind of human being.
Yeah, a lot
It
of those guys didn't even
stinks.
talk about it until
Yeah,
just a little while ago.
It
It's
stinks.
just fascinating
It
the
stinks.
different kinds of
Stinks.
human beings that exist depending
stinks.
upon the amount of adversity they've
It
overcome.
stinks.
Exactly. Exactly. That's why they started out.
Look at
now.
him.
They did this.
My
this,
truck's doing that one.
Don't crap.
This power one. I might get a little off, but the general gist is
Like, oh,
it was
crap.
on track. And they found that people dying in their own boat, they were there like, treading water, trying to survive.
Yeah.
Parker,
Were
trying to listen to this.
Sorry, Isaac.
The younger guys that should be
Sorry,
in
it's
better
okay.
shape their whole life ahead of them. The ones that and they thought, well, this is because those people haven't faced as much adversity.
Look at all those
as the
trees
older
up there.
people. So they started this outbound thing, get kids in the outdoors, have them do a solo out there by themselves for a couple nights, and put them in these positions that are uncomfortable. And so I think that's why that started. But there's something to that. There's
Isn't
something
that the
to
case with like ultra marathon runners? A lot of those like Cam Hanes age, like 55
Maybe,
guys. Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Probably, but yeah, the younger generation, they don't think run an
Why'd you
ultra
touch
marathon
me?
or want to make another TikTok video. It's a hard sell. That's a hard
Don't
sell. I don't know.
It's an interesting.
You're trying to have a
thing in
good
world of
time in the
fighting
car.
because
Don't
As
fight.
fighters
Don't
get
fight.
older, they have more
Guys, don't
experience,
fight.
more understanding,
They'll
more
cause an
toughness,
accident.
but their body doesn't work right anymore.
That's tough.
Guys, don't
That's
fight.
it right there. So it's a privilege to be at home. That's for sure. Especially if you spend some time in
But it's funny,
a
like
occupation.
nature balances it out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we had Cowboy come in the show. He
Oh,
had
yeah?
a cameo. He had a
Oh,
cameo. Chris
nice.
Pratt got to put a tomahawk in his head, and
Yeah,
that was
that's right.
awesome.
That's right, yeah.
He flew in for the day, did that. It was awesome. We had a great time doing that. We got to go out. I spent some time with him also on the range out at not Sig Freedom Days, but they have this sniper course they do in Utah the last couple of years. We got to spend some time together out there, and what a good dude. He was awesome.
He's
too.
the best.
We had a
And
great
he
time.
and Cowboy insisted on falling a very
Yeah.
specific way, right?
Yeah, he went with no stuntman, no makeup either. Cowboy didn't put on makeup.
Good for
Yeah,
him.
exactly. None of this, going in and putting the stuff. No.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we have to have a double fall for you. Nope, he's doing it all. And you're like, we're going to argue with him?
Grass Valley
What's
Creek.
The makeup person going to like, no, I have to do this? Nope. They just
Grass
do it
Valley
all.
Creek.
Yeah.
So it was fun to spend some time with both in Utah with Sig and then on the set. So that was really cool to have a couple touch points with him over the last year.
Again, that's a guy who's overcome a lot of fucking adversity.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why he's got that character. There it is.
There it is. Thunk. There it is. Bam. Yeah.
Grass Valley
There's
Creek.
That floor isn't padded. That floor's not padded right there.
At least
That's
he
just a
didn't bang
floor.
his head.
Yeah.
I was
He
worried.
was not concerned.
No.
He had zero concerns about
No,
banging
no,
his head.
That
That was
dude,
the time.
he's one of the wildest guys I've ever met because the shit that he does outside of fighting, which is wild. Like they're always trying to get him to calm down because he's always doing things like jumping jet skis and snowmobiles and
Awesome.
just doing so much wild shit outside of fighting, which is the wildest fucking thing you could do as a sport.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, remember back in the day when Point Break came out and Patrick Swayze was jumping every weekend, like actually jumping out of planes, and they were trying to, with insurance, like trying to get him to not do that.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, so I remember that story from back in the day. And then what did we just see? Mission
Kia
Impossible,
Forte.
Whatever Number, coming up on now
Tom
with Tom
Cruise.
Cruise doing that jump.
He broke his ankle.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Well, he jumped off that bike off that cliff like a number of times. That wasn't one take. That was those videos out there that show him training for it and then doing it. And how old is he?
60.
Crazy.
Yeah, he jumped from one building to the next and shattered his ankle when he made impact. There's a video of his ankle crumbling as it hits the wall.
Yeah. And then he's like, well, for the next one, we got to up it. And I'm going to take this motorcycle and jump off this cliff in, like, was it Norway or something like that? But insane. I mean, amazing.
He's out of his fucking mind. Yeah.
Hey, you're not jumping out of planes, right?
No.
Yeah, you don't do that. No surfing.
No.
Yeah.
I'm fuck sharks.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
not interested in sharks.
Yeah.
I was reading this story about that woman, Bethany, I forget her last name.
Hamilton?
Yeah, she got her arm bitten off by a shark and then got right back in there. Like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So my little guy, or I don't call him a little guy, but he's awesome, and he's 12, and he hadn't been to Pearl Harbor yet. My daughter has, so we took him for his spring break. We took him out to Oahu, went to Pearl Harbor, and so we got to go to the Arizona Memorial, USS Missouri, and then up to Punch Bowl National Cemetery up there. But when we got there, and he's surfing out there, we went with a family that really knows what they're doing surfing, and so we did that, and then we went on a shark dive at age 12. And so we're going out there with these three, and now that, you know, the age that I am, these people are very young that are taking us out there, they're the shark experts. And we go out there and in a boat, and off you go, and they have a photographer there who's studying sharks at the University of Hawaii, and then you get the shark expert also studying sharks at the University of Hawaii, but they're like 21 maybe, and we zip down there, and they're looking at making sure there's no tiger sharks, and we go in and we do this dive, and our little guy's it's just snorkeling, but you dive down and they get the picture, and you're seeing these sharks and you learn a little bit about them. And then we get back, and the same day we find out that on Oahu somebody got chomped, so it was just about a month and a half ago, and some girl diving somewhere, not in Hawaii but like in the Maldives or somewhere like that, also got chomped doing the exact same kind of snorkeling thing that our little guy was doing. But like I say, you know, if you're not going into the water like that, then you're not going to get eaten by a shark. You know, it's kind of like if you don't jump out of the plane, like then you're not going to burn in.
Yeah.
And I like the jumping. Like in the military, I liked.
We're in Buckhorn.
I like jumping. I did not like going to the exit because that's when you're like, okay, here we go. You jump out, whether it's dark, and you got all your stuff on.
We're in Buckhorn right now.
Yep.
Flying around.
Coming into Buckboard right now.
I saw a video recently.
Right behind a truck.
Yep, with lumber on it.
His parachute.
We're right behind the truck.
That's experienced jumper too.
We're following you down the road.
No.
Yeah, he's filming it.
It's the way. Forgot to put his chute on.
We're almost ready, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like in the 90s, I think.
Not there yet.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we have a
Very
couple of
hot
things in
outside
place in the
when we go out
military that
there.
at least would
Pretty hot out
prevent that, I think. So you have the jump masters, then they're checking all your stuff and making sure you're good. But the flying around is pretty cool. The pulling, not so much, because then you come for me anyway. The guys love it, but
Yeah,
for me,
there's
when it came time to pull,
Buckhorn
I was like, okay,
right
here it is.
there.
Is it going to
Yep,
open or
we're
it's
coming
not?
to
And if
Buckhorn.
it doesn't, then I have procedures I need to
We're
go
getting
through.
closer.
I got to remember those and all that stuff. And in my free fall class, 2 people died.
Really?
Yeah, the student and instructor ran into each other. Like,
Oh boy. And they just
yeah, we had one more jump to go, so we spent hours combing the desert looking for the bodies, and we still had to get back and jump again after that. So that was interesting. And then a buddy of mine burned in, amazing guy, such a great guy, Mike Beard, just such a solid dude. Went through butts with him.
When you say burned in.
Parachute malfunction, and then died beneath the ground. But amazing guy, such a cool person, just a solid human being. And then so like the next week they sent me and picked another guy who was best friends to jump school, so that was interesting. But and then after 2 people died in your class, have to do the investigation, so then you're sitting there on base waiting for this investigation to be done for like a week and a half, and then you do your final jumps. Yeah, it's not without its risks.
It's definitely, I think that's part of the excitement about it.
Maybe
Passing lane in the truck.
I don't think he's doing
Oh,
too
we're
much.
gonna pass tonight.
And he's out of
we're
his
not gonna
fucking
pass it.
mind.
Yeah,
We're just gonna
We're not
follow
gonna
it.
pass the truck.
Nah, we're just gonna cruise beyond the truck.
We're gonna cruise. We're not gonna
He's
pass.
just doing them.
We're just gonna cruise behind the truck.
You're not the base jumping.
Looks like
Maybe it's
we're
been the
gonna
base
cruise.
jumping that's been on pause for a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's a Peterbilt 389.
Out of his fucking mind. He's out of his fucking mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool, but it's, man, man.
Yeah,
We'll just pass it. Whoa,
it's a rough way to go.
That's tough. I mean,
Well, he's doing the flying
We'll
squirrels.
let that Jeep
shit, too.
yeah, it's like Trevor Thompson, those guys who's been on here.
Jeep Grand
What is this
Cherokee.
one?
Yep.
Sandy? Look at him go. Yeah, they just jumped over. Yeah, look at that. Look at this. This is
Pyramids.
amazing.
That is wild.
Yeah, look at it. And the photos
That's
they got from
fucking
this.
crazy.
7 jumps, 7 days,
Might be
7
another truck
continents
overhead.
to raise money for
Pass.
Folds of Honor. And
Keep still passing.
look at that. That
Look how
is
bizarre
beautiful.
the pyramids look in
Beautiful.
juxtaposition.
We got another truck up ahead.
We're passing it.
Herrera
Years ago,
transport
and
truck.
right there, the bright far right. I climbed to the top of that one. And a long, long time ago, it was all dark outside. I bribed some guards. Got some horses and rode out to that thing in the middle of the night, climbed up to the top, and then watched the sunrise over Cairo.
I gotta get out there.
Oh, that's
Still
like 2
have
trucks
never
behind us
been.
now.
I gotta get
It's a
out there.
really cool place.
There's 2 trucks
And the
behind
same thing
us
Taj
now.
Mahal also. I went to the Taj Mahal years ago.
Looks like
You
they're
think it's kind of
behind us
Bugatti?
now.
The brake track area.
That's what trucks do.
Just
Every time.
incredible to see some of these places.
I'm just so fascinated by the pyramids. Though.
Yeah, how they made them.
Yeah, and also
Now we're
just
overhead. Okay.
these insanely
Sun's not
complex
down yet. It's
cultures
about
that
6:43.
vanish. Just do they go away?
Yeah.
6:43
Like, what
p.m.
happened? Right. What is that? And then
Time
this is the
is-
thing I think
it's
about
almost
when I
7
think about
o'clock.
America today.
It's almost 7
that
p.m. We're
every
almost
empire
there.
collapses.
We're not
And
getting-
one of the
we're
things
getting close,
Douglas
but we're not there
Adams
yet.
talked
Come on,
about,
hey,
it's
be
really
quiet.
fascinating to me. He said
Yup,
every
we're Shasta
society
County.
when it's at the verge of collapse becomes obsessed with gender. I've seen that, which is real weird. and
We're in
not good for us,
Buckhorn.
because if it's any fucking
It
society.
seems like we're overly focused on some of these
Oh my
things right
God,
now.
yeah.
And, so if you're, let's say you're Iran, you're Russia, you're China, you're North Korea.
Yeah, look
you're
at these fuckers. They're going down.
Exactly. Yeah, you're a super empowered individual. You're a terrorist organization. You might just want to lay back a little bit and watch, because we're doing a pretty good job of destroying ourselves from the inside.
And I'm sure they're helping. I'm sure they're helping.
Just give it a nudge.
Social media. I'm sure there's like, I mean, one of the things they found out on Facebook was that 19 of the top Christian sites were run by Russian troll farms.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't be
19
shocked.
of the top 20.
I shouldn't
And they're
be
just
shocked.
saying wild shit and trying to start a holy war.
Just trying to divide. Oh my gosh. And then we get, like, okay, so we have aliens. We have some spaceships in here. I mean, in the news.
Mhm.
Imagine that coming out in 1985.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about that. I go back and forth and back and forth. But, you know, part of me thinks some of it is real, and part of me thinks a good percentage of it is probably like some black project that they're not telling us about. That is some insanely complex drone, an unmanned drone that has capabilities
Nissan
beyond
Rogue.
what we think of in terms of conventional propulsion systems.
Nissan Rogue.
Yeah,
Certainly
black.
a possibility.
It's
A lot of
rogue.
those sightings were, in fact, the black helicopters. They're black helicopters, but they're training for overseas. And they just happen to
Behind
be
a
overseas
Nissan
every now
Rogue,
and
an
again.
SUV car.
Stealth back in the day. Yeah, back in the day. Remember there was a
Looks like
model of it.
SUV.
I remember I forget the model.
like we're coming
It
into
was
SUV.
old World War II planes.
We're
back
coming
in the
into
day, and I always see
Buckhorn.
this
Yeah, we are.
model that was
We are
like
in
the,
Buckhorn. I think we are.
interpretation from the toy company.
I think we're not in it
these
yet.
models of a stealth bomber,
might need to
and it was
get
pretty
back.
dang close when they actually revealed it years later. So I distinctly remember that. But did you have the guy that is it a Navy pilot?
Commander Fravor.
Okay, do you have him on?
Yes, yeah, but two guys, Ryan Graves and Commander Fravor. Both of them were fascinating. Commander Fravor was the one that off the coast of San Diego in 2004, he encountered that object that went from more than 50,000 feet above sea level to 50 in less than a second.
Yeah, it stinks.
Yeah,
They
that's
have no idea what it did. It was blocking the tracking systems. They got visual. They saw it visually. They have footage of it. They have video footage of it. Multiple jets encountered.
Did you
it,
fart in a car
and when it
again?
Zipped
Yeah, I
off
just
at an
did,
insane rate of
Yeah.
speed. It returned to their cat point. So the
Not
place where they
in
were
the
supposed to
car.
meet up later,
Are you
it
kidding
went
me?
there.
What?
Yeah,
I didn't do that crap.
Yeah.
I didn't do
They
that
don't know
shit.
what it is. They don't know what.
Yeah,
they
you
think
did.
there's
You
something else that
farted.
was under the
Sorry,
water.
bro.
That it
Sorry,
was
dude. Had the
interacting
fart.
with something that was under the water because there was ripples. Like it was like almost like a submarine.
Jeez.
So whatever that thing was that they encountered,
Fart.
that sort of. That man, Commander Fravor, who is
Ready,
so
dude.
rock
We're getting
solid.
close.
When you talk
I'm
to
gonna
him,
drink
he's
some
not
water.
moving in any shape
Yeah, that's a
or
good
form.
idea.
Just a fucking
I have my water with me.
dedicated,
I have my water.
lifelong
And my phone.
pilot, military man.
I have a
He's
backpack
just
and jacket. I have my phone.
his
and my
credentials
water.
are
Left turn 30 miles an hour.
I got my
pretty stunning.
I got
And
my phone and
also
water
the
bottle.
attitude that a lot of the higher ups had.
I got my
They
phone
were aware
and water
of it.
bottle.
And
See, there's my
that you
phone.
talk to people on the Nimitz and they were saying, yeah, we see these things every couple of weeks.
That's, and they class,
Oh.
those guys say they
Cars from Montana.
Yeah, it's from.
Yeah, and then there was Ryan Graves, who said that, I believe it was in 2014, they upgraded all of their equipment, and then they started seeing these things. Because the equipment have new capabilities, and they're seeing these things that are 120 knot winds, completely motionless, just staying and just totally still. Which are like, how? No heat signature, no visual means of propulsion. They don't know what the fuck these things were doing. Moving at insane rates of speed occasionally, shadowing them. They try to find them, they try to catch up, and they take off. Couldn't keep up with them, they don't know what they are. There's something that was a cube inside a sphere.
Did those guys write books? Did they forget? They wrote a book about it or stuff?
Those guys wrote a book. But Commander Fravor, I first saw him on Lex Friedman podcast, and then I got him on to talk to him about it. But it is a fascinating encounter.
To UFOs and all that sort of thing.
Oh, I don't know. I've been since I was a kid. Yeah, it's just fun. Yeah, just because I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
I got obsessed with the Roswell
Man, I slide over, goddammit.
Hang on to the
Oh, I
handlebar.
gotta hold on. Hang on.
But it wasn't until talking to
hold
people
on.
that got experience
I gotta hang on
that
to
really
him.
burns your head.
Right.
Because you're talking to these people, you kind of get a sense of
Hold on.
you kind of get a sense. The Bob Lazar one's the most bizarre.
Oh shit, oh crap.
Bob Lazar is the gentleman that worked on Area
Almost to
S4.
Whiskey Town.
Site
We're
4,
getting
Area
close.
51. He
We're almost
worked
there,
back
dude. We're
engineering
almost here.
This thing that they said
glad
they
we're
had
here.
recovered.
We're gonna go there in
And they were
30 minutes,
trying
Sean. We
to
got 30
figure
minutes
out
left.
how
We got
the
30 minutes
30 minutes to Redding.
Yeah,
and
30
they don't
minutes to
tell
get to
him
the house.
what these things are.
We'll be
What
there
it's like,
soon.
hey, tall.
And we're pretty much
These completely smooth surfaces,
Ending, so
this
we're
metal
pretty
that they don't
dry.
understand, this visual.
Oh, really? The metal,
It's
the
very
actual
warm
thing.
outside,
Yeah,
so
they don't-
Just like in the movies, where like we don't
Yes.
have any evidence of this
I
ever
don't know
existing as
what
well.
the
Hot
fuck
tomorrow,
it is.
I guess.
There was different.
We're gonna be.
He said the problem with it is that these science doesn't exist in a vacuum. You need a bunch
I
of
don't know
scientists
until
comparing
11,
notes and
so-
trying to discuss it, but everything was top secret and classified, so they couldn't do that. So they brought in people who were the metallurgy people, and they were not allowed to communicate with the people that were the propulsions experts. They were not allowed to communicate with people who supposedly had some sort of contact with the biological entities. And then there's this amazing documentary that was just released recently called Moment of Contact about Varginha, Brazil. In 1996, there was a crash. And not only was it a crash, but there's a crash in these bodies. One of them was alive and injured. This soldier picked this thing up. They carried this thing to multiple different hospitals. They did autopsies on this thing. And then the soldier who encountered it died of a horrific bacterial infection that they could not describe. They didn't know what it was. They didn't know how he got it. And he got it from being in contact with this entity, supposedly.
What?
Oh my God.
What's it called?
Moment of Contact.
Moment of Contact.
It's incredible.
That's insane.
What's incredible too is this one of these guys, one of the soldiers that was in this documentary, they bring him to the crash site, and this guy starts weeping and he's talking about it. I mean, unless this guy's like the greatest fucking actor the world's ever known, the way he reacts when he sees this site, when he describes his experience when they found this thing that had crash landed.
Hey, chill.
And there's also
Sorry,
documentation that the Air Force had flown a jet to Varginha
Sean,
and
do you have any
returned
water on you?
with
Yeah,
whatever the
water.
fuck they caught,
I do.
whatever they got there, and brought it
I do
back
have
to the
water.
United States.
That is wild.
You know, Jackie Gleason supposedly had an encounter with Nixon.
Crystal
The
Creek
Nixon
and
Gleason
Whiskey
were
Town
buddies, and they tried to
Falls.
admit that they had
The
frozen.
French Gulch.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So that must have been like early 70s. at some
Yeah,
point.
something like that. And Jackie Gleason wound up having a... Yeah, Jackie Gleason apparently was obsessed with UFOs after the fact.
No.
So this
What?
is... Yeah.
That-
Jackie
that looks
Gleason's
like a
UFO
cabin.
installed upstate. Yeah, upstate.
Tower House.
Spaceship House.
No.
Yeah.
That
was
was
his-
like what? And that picture makes it look bigger. Okay, that's serious.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
wow.
a fucking...
That's beautiful.
Oh, that's two different buildings?
No.
Oh, he has
The
more
first
than
one's
one
like
of
the
them?
guest house.
Oh, I see. Yeah, look at that.
That's the
fucking
guest house,
thing.
the other one.
Wild.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so Jackie Gleason became a UFO freak.
Man, I'm gonna do that after this. That's a pretty cool looking house.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. Oh my God,
wow,
I wish
look
it was...
at that.
I wonder if it's still for sale.
That's
Entrance to
amazing.
the mothership. Woo!
I'll talk to my wife about this when I get
Yeah.
home. This is serious right here.
Mhm.
Well, now you have this SIG Spear. So there's a lot of UFO stuff on this SIG Spear. So maybe this should be reserved.
The Car
for
Powerhouse
checking out
Road.
when they come.
I don't want to take them out.
Well, if
If
they
they-
attack you.
Listen, I don't
If
think
they
they're gonna
attack.
attack.
If they attack.
If they do attack, I think they could render
We're gonna
you
be here for a
useless
while,
almost
dude.
instantaneously. I mean,
But them too, they're kind of like, why wouldn't they just sit back and watch?
I think they're if
They're
I
gonna pass right by.
If I had to guess, I mean, just the wildest of speculations, I would guess that every civilization reaches a point of technological proficiency when they're also dealing with these territorial, warring tribes where they have the ability to literally destroy the earth. And that if this is a natural course of progression for intelligent beings, they get to this point, there's a transition where it gets very dangerous. And if I was from another planet and I was monitoring this, I would be there to make sure that they don't launch. That they don't, and that's the theme of the Mothership Comedy Club, is that the rooms are called Fat Man and Little Boy. And the reason why the rooms are called Fat Man and Little Boy is because that is the specific moment in UFO folklore when the aliens start arriving. After the detonation of those bombs, that's when you start seeing this massive uptick in sightings.
Really?
Yes. And interactions with fighter pilots and these different military bases that have nuclear programs where the bases get shut down and all the power goes off.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's heavy stuff, because if you think that they are watching, that would make the most sense. That they see that we have nuclear power, we have the ability to blow ourselves up, and we detonate 2 bombs, and then they're like, okay, let's go monitor these assholes.
Let's go make sure that takes when it's going to affect the rest of the universe.
One country right now has them. Let's fucking specifically concentrate on them. And then they have sightings in the Soviet Union when the Soviet Union has
ultimate power in the universe.
Yeah, there's a ton of documented sightings and these encounters that happen. And then
so beforehand, there's not really anything.
Very little. Well, I'm sure they've probably been visiting us. If they do visit us, I would imagine they've been visiting us forever. Like, look, they've got engines. Look, they've got guns. Look, they've got this. You know, it'd be fascinating to watch. Like, look at these territorial apes with nuclear weapons. Like, it's the time to watch.
Right now, they're probably just sitting back, popping that popcorn and being like, oh man,
well,
it's getting interesting now.
We're getting closer and closer to our fucking inevitable demise. Like, that's when the sightings are ramped up to the point where the Pentagon has to start talking about it.
And they are.
Yes.
In front of Congress.
Yes.
I mean, that's wild.
Yeah.
But no one pays attention.
No one pays attention.
It's like, let's go back to TikTok and Instagram.
Well, I mean, they kind of pay attention, but it's not, there's nothing that you could fucking put your fork into.
Right.
You know, it's like, what is it? Like, why are they telling us about this? That's also, there's a lot of cynicism when it comes to, like, why is the government telling us about UFOs?
Like a distraction, you mean?
Well, what is it? Like, what are they telling us because they really have this information and they want to slowly leak it out because this is an inevitable contact moment and they want to prepare civilization? Or is it just horseshit? Is it just they're distracting us, and this is how they, institute this drone program where they have this, anti-gravity device and they can move at insane rates of speed? I don't know. It's just guesswork.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You could hear directly from these guys who've actually seen it, experienced it.
Yeah.
Talk to them for a little bit.
I've talked to quite a few now. Quite a few that have seen these things and had these experiences. But the Bob Lazar one is uniquely compelling. Uniquely compelling because Bob is without a doubt a brilliant guy, and he was.
We're Whiskey Town.
Whiskey Town Lake.
He worked at Los Alamos.
We're getting
Labs,
closer to Reading, but we're in Whiskey Town right now.
There's Whiskey Town Lake.
He's on the employee roster.
We're gonna cross over this depth. See that boat right there? It's moving.
They took him.
Dude, I'm sorry.
Keep it down, keep it to a 5.
I'm sorry.
Look at this boat.
It's speeding around.
He knew where everything was.
I see another boat
He knew
over
the
there,
people
too.
there.
There's
They knew
boats around
him. Yeah, it's wild shit, man. Because if he's
And a
telling the
yacht?
truth, he says it's not one that they've recovered, but multiple, and that one of them they think is really old, and they got it from an archaeologist.
There's Whiskey Town
they
Lake.
recovered this thing in the ground.
That's movie stuff. I mean, you see that in movies, and we all watch it in movies and think it's science fiction, but there's a lot of science fiction that has come to fruition. From submarines to going to the moon to there's also space travel in general, flight, just flying.
Sure.
I think the Twisties are
We're
over,
just like,
right?
Buck Rogers.
Yeah,
no big
pretty
deal.
sure.
But I remember
We're straight now.
Whiskey Town Lake.
Coronado,
we're straight.
which is one of the SEAL hubs, Virginia
We're pretty
Beach.
much
Yeah,
straight
we're
now.
in Virginia Beach. Went back there, and I think didn't you do a bit on
We're straight.
flight when you're like about when internet
We're gonna
first
be at the
became
house pretty
available
soon.
on
The house
a
will have the
flight,
door open for
and
us, so we can get in
you're
the
like
house.
people
We can get
first
inside.
time a Southwest flight,
They'll have the
whatever.
door unlocked for us.
Hey, we have internet for the first
So
time
don't get
on
locked
this
out.
flight. and here's the password for your internet thing. And a guy opens it up and whatever, and opens it up, and it doesn't work for a second. He slams it down.
Oh, that's Louis C.K.
Oh, is it?
Louis
Okay.
C.K. had a joke about that.
Yeah.
Fucking piece of shit.
Exactly. You're flying through the air.
Yeah, literally.
Like, look around
You're
and be
getting the internet
thankful.
from space.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, but instead you're like,
Garbage.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
What the hell's
Well,
going on here?
That's people that haven't had to develop those things, that don't appreciate them. I mean, how many people get mad their Wi-Fi cuts out in their phone?
Exactly.
You know, I mean, it's just...
And it allows that level of anxiety in your life, and you just gotta be, I mean, it's tough. You gotta figure out how to manage that. Just like these negative comments we were talking about. So, like, I won't go over the comments on this one. I mean, imagine what people are gonna say about UFOs and everything else in the comments here.
I think people that listen to this podcast love UFOs. It's just... it's
These are
such
the
a
people?
fun thing.
These are the people?
It's such a fun thing to be excited
Yeah.
about. I mean, and it might be the thing that could save us from demise. If we really are on this path,
Visitor
of
Center,
mutually
Vista
assured
Point.
destruction with Russia,
Visitor
and with
Center,
China,
Vista
with
Point.
China invading Taiwan, which seems also
Almost in
inevitable.
June, people.
It's terrifying stuff. And
Also, something in the pages of this novel. I don't think you've got, you did get there yet. There's the sentence about it.
Claire 8 Hill, Brandy Creek, Whiskey Town.
Just things that are on my mind work their way into the pages of these things as well. So China, Taiwan is in there, Ukraine is in there, of course, and there's some other things that'll be a surprise to people in these pages. But for me, it's a great outlet because I get to think all these things that I'm thinking about or worried about or whatever else. I get to weave into these pages and think about them alone with no interruption. Well, most of the time. There's some interruptions in our house with 3 kids, dog, and everything else going on. But it's fantastic. I mean, I actually enjoy the interruptions because I know when they're gone, I'll miss them.
yes, yeah. Well, that's great. Your ability
Over
to
there,
see
there's
that.
Reading over there.
Sometimes it's hard for people when you're in the middle of
Where's
things to
Chester?
appreciate it.
Rogan.
Yeah, you're building, and you can be solely focused on that task at hand. Like in the military, that pendulum, it has to be on the side of the team because you're taking these guys down range.
7 o'clock.
Rifles in their hands.
Yeah.
So you
Yep.
have to be
Watch
as
it.
prepared as you
It's
can
about
possibly
7 o'clock.
be to make the best decisions under fire you possibly can. Because what that means, that pendulum is not on the side of the family, which is
Right.
over here.
Right.
And so they're doing all those other things. So you have to have a very supportive family that understands that, hey, you're going to Iraq, you're going to Afghanistan, your best friends are in that trench with you to the right and the left, and so that pendulum has to be over here. You owe that to them, their families, the country, the mission, the team. Once you get out and can start build, but it's about any business. You're building and you're solely focused on it.
Rock
Your
Creek
family's over
Road.
here. Sometimes that does take a back seat when you're building, but for me, I know that I'm gonna miss those times. I'm gonna miss all those interruptions in a few years.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I miss me and my kids are teenagers now, but I miss them when they were little kids. It was just the videos you could watch.
I know, now you
just
can go
amazing
back
on your phone.
Apple puts it right there. They put those little memories or whatever that pop up, and things you've almost
Shasta.
forgotten about. In a lot of cases, pop up on there, and I go, oh, and I stop what I'm doing. I watch it, and then I send it to my wife. I send her, hey, did you see this? Apple
That's
Apple
what's
found
so
this
unique
memory.
too, because of a lot of people have iPhones and they've had them since 2007 or 8, whenever they came out. Like that's a long history of your iPhoto that you can pull from and get these
We're
wild
in Reading
memories.
now.
Yeah, I was born in 2005. I got my iPhone in, I don't know, 2007.
Yeah.
And so the same thing. And they get you early. Once you're Apple, they get you. They get everything's in this cloud eventually, and then they've got you for life. And so
The walled garden.
Yeah. So I got a couple
Elevation
phones now
1,000
since, you
feet.
recommended that
Jay's
to me. I haven't committed
Market.
to the other one yet, which I
Jay's
need
Market.
to do.
Yeah.
Because that thing's going off. I feel very fortunate, very, very fortunate. But I need to commit to that other number.
Yeah, you got to have a phone that only a few people have.
Yeah.
I think at a certain point in time, you want to be able to have a phone that you check every now and again, but have a phone where your wife has, your
Yes.
best friends have,
Yeah.
and then don't let anybody give that fucker away.
Yes.
Yeah, I tell
Middle
everybody,
Creek
if I get a
Road.
group text,
Exactly.
and there's a
Group
group
text.
text with someone, hey man, this
It's
guy
just
wants
a
to talk
number.
to you about a project.
It's just a number, not a name.
Yeah, I blocked that person. I say, all right, well, you're off the fucking list now because you just connected me to some asshole from a tech company.
You have to.
Yeah, I was
Sleepy
maybe
Drive.
Maybe a nice guy, but
Yeah.
it's not his fault.
Just
But-
not self-aware enough to realize
Well,
that
it's
that's
also-
not appropriate.
Some people don't understand what it's like to, I'll leave a podcast, I'll have 150 text messages, 140 text messages. It's nuts. Yeah, I've had days where I've had hundreds
Slope?
of text messages. You can't keep up. It's not possible.
Nope.
And some people abuse the shit out of that. And hey man, you're ignoring me? I'm like, dude. If you could see the volume of emails and direct messages, it's like
Victoria
do you wanna be a
Drive.
normal human, because if you want to be a normal human, you cannot keep up with all that stuff.
Possible.
Especially if you want to be a person that does what I do, perform.
Yeah.
You want to be funny and do podcasts, and I can't be checking that thing all the time.
And you gotta
Iron
create a
Mountain
time.
and Keswick.
Coming in the ready right now. We're coming in.
Phone's not going.
Yeah.
Phone's
I have my
phone's on
YouTube
airplane
on my
mode, and
And then I leave. I gotta have dinner with my family. I got shows. I got this.
shows,
I got
two
that.
shows a night sometimes. That's incredible. So now, I mean, it's not nearly at your level, but I certainly see it. And I'm going to do that thing where I miss the 80s. I mean, if I could go back in time, I'd go back to 85. And I would just stay in 85, I think. You know, we have Back to the Future comes out, Rambo First Blood Part 2 comes out.
That's
I
hilarious.
think Fletch is out there. Anyway, it's a great year. I mean, 85, right in the middle. I just stayed right there.
I like it right now.
And you like it, do you?
I like it right now.
That's
Why'd
awesome.
you turn
I'm going to try to
down?
get to that. I'm going to try to get to that sort of an attitude.
Well, because I think this is the last generation before we can read minds.
Oh,
This is the
geez.
last generation
Oh,
before
we're-
we become
we're coming
fully
into
integrated
town.
with technology that's
They're riding, so
absolutely
we're almost here,
ingrained,
guys. We're
embedded
not to the
in our
house
body.
yet, but we're on the road.
I think
Driving
we're
along pretty good on the road.
a decade or so.
I have
away.
Lower Springs Road.
Yep.
I think
None of that was there in 1985 either. So
Yeah, but I like
I'm
that.
going back. I'm going back. I'm going back.
I enjoy having a phone. I enjoy being able to film things, and I enjoy being able to ask
everywhere, huh?
Google, like,
Yeah,
how
it's
far
very
can a
good.
turkey fly? And
That,
bam, you know,
that was important.
I love doing that with my kids.
100
We do
yards for people joining us
all
late.
the time while we're driving.
Do
We'll
you?
have conversations about stuff like,
And you, like, check
what
it?
is this? Let's Google it, and then it's really
some
fun.
houses over
It's
there.
fun to have that
See
kind
houses,
of access
right?
to information. There's negative consequences to every generation
We
that's
gotta
ever
turn on the
existed.
market.
There's always going to be negatives, but I like it today.
Man, I love your attitude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna think about this while I'm on book tour right now. So I'm gonna go to my hotel and think about this as I continue on book tour. But
Welcome to Reading.
Welcome to Reading.
And this time machine is about.
Here we are.
Elevation
We're here.
560.
And then we'll do Grass Valley trip probably like 2 months.
Discs.
We'll do Grass Valley.
No. Is it late 70s? So it's like a
Really?
record.
I'll
And
take
so
my
it
phone.
skips all over the
Tablet
place. You have to
too.
put an RCA video disc player. You put them in. And it's
I'll
a
take my
square.
phone,
You
tablets,
pull the
my
square
phone.
out, and it leaves the
The
disc
laptop
in
will
this
stay,
plastic.
yeah. I don't
Gets
take
about
it.
35
With
minutes.
Rich
I'll just take my
Drive.
tablets
Tablets
and
and my
put it
phone.
around, put it back in again. So it's
Wi-Fi
the
for my
precursor
phone, yeah.
to Laserdisc.
Grass
Wow,
Valley.
I
Check
wasn't
it
even
out.
aware that existed.
Oh yeah, it's
That's
back
in the 70s?
late, like 79 or something like that. People can fact check it. I won't look at the comments, but
I have Wi-Fi.
it's,
There it is. Video
There it
disc.
is. Bam, and look at that. Yep, that's
Buenaventura.
Spectravision.
That's the one we had growing up.
Red
Look at
light.
that thing.
Wow.
Look at that thing.
I love how they use fake wood with those.
It's fantastic.
Wood
Yeah,
paneling.
exactly. It is so.
Why is like wood pan like
It's so
Atari
great.
too?
Or just like a Wagoneer, or like in
Yeah.
a big vacation. You know, they had the wood paneling down the side of their car. But yes,
Look
so
at Tom Cruise.
now, so I'm going back. So my time machine is one of these. It's a VHS or VCR with VHS tapes, and you want an Atari 2600, and I'm going to track down the first Nintendo.
We're going slow here.
I'm just going to have those in there, and I walk in, and now I'm back in 1985. That's my time machine.
Better leave your phone
That
out.
truck showing an
Exactly.
engine.
Yeah, no phones in that thing right there. Now, is plug it in and treat it like it's a code. So treat it like it is attached to the wall.
Someone's
like
calling
back
you.
in things.
Oh.
And so I have to go up there to that room.
Oh, it's calling,
Not
sorry.
the time machine, but another room where I have to.
We're driving
pick it up
down.
right there, and it's just attached with the cable. To the
We're
truck.
ready. We're on Eureka Way, and we're not to the house yet.
And so if I want to check
I have
those
signal on my
messages,
phone. Looks like I have data.
That's my plan. That's my plan. And
Overhill Drive.
Overhill